You've got a great idea for a small business, but you just can't get it off the ground. You want to be your own boss, set your own hours. Well, new year means new opportunities, and Shopify's got you covered to help get your venture off the ground. Shopify makes it easy to manage your growing business. You can get your store up and running easily with thousands of customizable templates. And they help with the details like shipping, taxes, and payments from one single dashboard. Don't kick yourself next holiday season when your 2025 resolution list looks the same as it does today. Make it happen with Shopify. Established in 2025 has a nice ring to it, doesn't it? Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/income, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/income to start selling with Shopify today. Shopify.com/income.
This episode of One Hit Thunder is brought to you by DistroKid. Hey there, One Hit Thunder listeners. Are you ready to take your music to the next level? Well, get ready to rock because this episode is brought to you by DistroKid, the ultimate digital music distribution service for artists like you. With DistroKid, you can easily upload your songs or albums to online stores and streaming platforms like Spotify, Apple Music, and YouTube Music, reaching fans all around the globe. But that's just the beginning. DistroKid offers a ton of awesome features like Hyperfollow, which helps you promote your releases and get pre-saves on your songs, all for free. But wait, there's more. The DistroKid app is now available on iOS and Android. With the app, you can manage your releases, track your streaming stats, and even withdraw your earnings, all from the palm of your hand. And for those looking to perfect their sound, check out Mixia. This powerful tool allows you to put the finishing touches on your tracks in minutes, ensuring they sound polished and professional every time. But that's not all. DistroKid has just launched a brand new feature called Instant Share, allowing you to easily share large files securely with collaborators, producers, and more. With Instant Share, you can keep your music streaming at the highest quality while making the best impression possible. So what are you waiting for? Elevate your music career today with DistroKid and unlock a world of possibilities. Possibilities that I know all about because I've been using DistroKid for years. It's seriously great. If you haven't used it before, you're going to love it. And One Hit Thunder listeners get an exclusive offer, 30% off your first year with DistroKid by signing up at distrokid.com/VIP/OneHitThunder. That's distrokid.com/VIP/OneHitThunder. In honor of an altogether dreadful Inauguration Day, we're tackling what might just be the worst song in music history. Lee Greenwood's bombastic ode to patriotism, God Bless the U.S.A. Sure, Greenwood had other country hits, but let's face it, this is the only song he's remembered for, and not for great reasons. Beyond the overly saccharine lyrics and predictable melody, we uncover the less-than-rosy details about Greenwood himself, including his stint as a grifter Bible salesman. Join us as we dive into why this song's unearned legacy and its composer's questionable backstory make it a strong contender for the most cringe-inducing track ever written.
Who died, who gave that right to me, and I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land.
One hit is all you need to make the money guaranteed, and you can live off royalties forever.
And it makes me wonder, is it just a wonder, or is it one hit thunder?
Hey, Matt, I got a question for you. If tomorrow all the things were gone you worked for all your life, would you thank your lucky stars that you were in America? Is that what you would be thinking about if everything you worked for your entire life was all of a sudden gone?
Chris, let me ask you a question, because I think I know the answer to this, but I don't know for sure.
Okay.
We've discussed how you know almost nothing about the Bible. Are you familiar with the story of Job?
No, I've heard the name Job. And I'm not just talking about Job Will Arnett plays. What's that show?
Yeah.
No.
Gob. That's just Job with a G. This is Job spelled like job.
Okay, gotcha.
That opening line makes me think of this. The worst story in the entire Bible. The story of Job, which essentially goes that the devil and God are having a conversation and they make a bet. And the devil's like, I bet your most loyal believer, if his life was trash, he would renounce you. And God's like, I'll take you up on that bet. And so the devil kills everybody that Job loves and like makes him poor and homeless. And Job still is celebrating God. And God is like, see, prove to you, he has great faith. That's the story, Chris.
Okay. All right. What's supposed to be learned from that?
To always have faith in God, I guess.
Okay. Well, how's that relate to Lee Greenwood's
I think that
the
Lee
USA?
Greenwood's version of this is, hey, if everything you've ever had was taken away from you, God bless the USA that you're here. You lucky so-and-so.
Okay. All right. I got you. Let's just start this because I think we should name the episode this. We don't usually the names of our episodes are just the song title and the artist and then maybe featuring if we have a guest. Okay.
Yeah.
I think we should call this episode Lee Greenwood's God Bless the USA is the worst song ever written. I believe that this is the worst song that's ever existed for such a crazy amount of reasons. Now, I would suggest we're not going to rehash everything that John Oliver covered about this song last week tonight, but it is hilarious. It was such a good segment. If you go back and watch last week tonight episode about where he dives into this song, how it's used when you become an American citizen, they make you watch a music video to this song and wave a flag, and how he made a Canadian version of this song. And Lee Greenwood is just straight up a grifter. Like, this guy is very Trumpy. And what better for an episode this week when, boy, oh boy, are we headed into dark times. I don't care what your background is, whether you like the guy and you voted for him, which boggles my mind. We're all in for a bad time. It's
going to be rough.
Yeah.
I listened to a podcast today that gave me some hope. I'm going to try to lean into hope.
Okay.
Boy, did I. But for the sake of this podcast, let's just say, you know what? Here's the thing that I think is important for us to do with this.
Okay.
Taking politics off the table.
Okay.
We are obviously
I'll
you and I are very left-leaning people. And I think that shows throughout our podcast and throughout just things that we discuss. Taking the politics of Lee Greenwood off the table, taking the pure grifter salesman, just looking at this song strictly as a song, it is awful.
It is the worst. Dude, when I've heard this song in recent years, and believe me, this grifter, man, does he love when there's a tragedy in America, because this guy lines his pockets every time there's a tragedy or something bad that happens. This guy's like, oh yeah, he starts seeing those dollar signs. But that aside, the sound of this song, this song was pounded into my head as a little kid. I remember like learning the lyrics of this song in elementary school. It was during the war in the Persian Gulf, when I was a little kid during that, and then this song was popular during that. There's something about this song, the sonics of this song, that sound like state-run media or something. It just sounds like propaganda so bad. It's just something, how we talk about like Christian music has this certain sound to it.
It's there with this. And it's one of those songs that I don't think I realized how old this song is.
Yeah.
This song is older than me. Like,
yeah.
Like I thought that this was like in my heart of hearts, I truly thought that this song was written at the exact same time that like all of the other September 11th songs were written. You know what I mean?
No,
and
not
then
at
I'm
all.
like it wasn't until years later that I was like, this song is older than me.
Yeah.
And I've said this before. Look, we could do an episode. We joked around about could we do an episode on the national anthem or the Star Spangled Banner
which we should.
but like, I've said this before. I will stand by this statement. Our national anthem has always sucked.
Oh, yeah, it's a terrible song.
God Bless the USA is weirdly somehow like a pseudo second or third national anthem. Also sucks. If we're talking about actual patriotic songs that are good. Now, I'm on your side of like, it should just be Tom Petty's I Won't Back Down. Like, hell
sure.
yeah, I would stand and put my hand over my heart for that.
Yeah.
But I've said before, the best patriotic song ever, get rid of all of the other ones, just Ray Charles's rendition of America the Beautiful.
Yeah, sure.
And only Ray Charles's version of that.
That's a way better song than
Like-
than the Star Spangled Banner, and of course this song.
God, and that's the thing is like if you look at if we're just talking about lyrically, right? Like, and I want to compare the two for a second, like. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies and ever waves of grain, purple mountains, majesties above the fruited plain. Like, I love that the America the Beautiful, it's painting this picture of like, look at all of the different things as you travel from coast to coast that you'll see, be it like these beautiful plains, beautiful skies. Like, it's just talking about how beautiful of a country we get to live in.
Yeah.
Is from an aesthetics thing. Never does that song feel like it is pandering to the listener. It feels like a beautiful poem put to music, which is exactly what it is.
Yeah.
This feels like a Mad Lib song on like write a patriotic song. Just fill in these like key pieces.
And let's make clear patriotism. Okay, we don't have to talk about politics, but let's talk about patriotism for a second. I believe that I am very patriotic. I believe that I always want the country where I was born to be better than it was yesterday. I want every day to make progress and make our country better and better than it's ever been. I don't think that we should go back. I don't think that our country was better 50 years ago. It most certainly was not. And, you know, to with this administration coming in that, oh God, anyway, it's just sending us backwards to when things were worse. That is so bad. But I believe patriotism is wanting things to be better. Whereas this blind patriotism, like let's ignore everything that's bad about where we're from and just blindly love the country for no reason. Drape yourself in an American flag for no reason. I just think it's stupid. It's so stupid. It's for stupid people.
Well, the main word that gets thrown around in this song a lot is the word free, right?
Yeah.
Like he talks about like the flag stands for freedom and they can't take that away, or I'm proud to be an American where at least I know I'm free. Like he keeps throwing around this freedom concept. And the thing that drives me insane, and you know, like you and I have talked about this before, like our voting records aside, I don't really trust people on either side of the party line to have my best interests.
Let's make that clear. That I don't. Yes, I'm a lefty, I guess you would say, but I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not a Democrat. Like,
no,
what a weak political party. So weak, weaklings.
Yes.
Like that. That's how I feel about it. Is like they're so weak. Like you lost the election to the biggest idiot of all time. Like. You lost the election to a guy that, I mean, literally the biggest idiot that's ever spoken words. And they lost the election to him because you didn't know how to relate to the American public.
To the American people.
Yeah.
And so, like, the thing that I have is, like, you know, and this does come from the fact that a large chunk, if not most of my family are staunch Republicans, voted for Donald Trump, and I still love them because they're my family, and I'm always going to love them because they have the freedom to make their own decisions and they can do whatever they want. What drives me up a wall is a song like this written about how great it is that we live in this country where we can be free, and it's constantly being co-opted by a party that wants to take away as many freedoms from American people as humanly possible.
It's crazy.
Right?
It's crazy.
Like there's a level of hypocrisy in there, and it's like you cannot compare saying, well, the left wing has a PC problem of us saying, hey, you probably shouldn't call someone the N-word. That is not the same as saying you shouldn't be allowed to exist or do anything because of your gender or the color of your skin or like this, that, and the other thing.
Dude,
there are two so different versions of what is freedom in my eyes. And to me, my voting every single time falls down to who will allow people to live the happiest life that they can have individually. Who will just let people live their lives and be happy?
Sure.
And this song is somehow supposed to represent that, but doesn't at all. Dude. All this song represents are people who literally want to, like you said, wrap themselves in the American flag and feel superior.
Yes. And it's written by a grifter. That drives me crazy. I mean, the president is a grifter now, but con man grifter, this Lee Greenwood, born October 1942. When we're recording this episode, the guy's 82 years old and still out playing this song, which whatever. Dude, he won a Grammy and has charted 33 singles on the hot country charts, with 7 of those singles reaching number 1. Sorry to everybody and sorry to Lee Greenwood. This doesn't count for anything when this guy's still a one-hit wonder. Like, I don't care about the hot country charts. Like, it just doesn't count. He has sold 25 million copies worldwide. I will say that does count for something. But whatever. This song was released in the spring of 1984. And then it was included in a film about President Ronald Reagan, who was, of course, the Republican presidential nominee again to run for a second term. It was shown at the 1984 Republican National Convention. So already you're writing this song that's supposed to be, I don't know, patriotic and about loving America. But from the second you write it, you're giving it to half of the country, half of it's like the other half sucks. This party is the one that believes in America. Whatever. He performed it again in 1988 at the Republican National Convention for George H.W. Bush. In 1989, which once again, go watch the Last Week Tonight episode, he released the Canadian version of the song, which I can't even fathom how many reasons that is ridiculous. I can't even put into words. So you were, like you said, Matt, it was like Mad Libs about America. He just changed the words to be about Canada. So this song wasn't special to be about America. It was just like, whatever. This is just the country I happen to be writing this about. Let's switch it out for any other country. Grifter. This is grifter shit right here. Later again, 1991. Now, this is around the time where I became aware of it. It became popular during the Gulf War in 1991. This is, Matt, I will tell you, I was in a, elementary school play, and it was like a patriotic play or whatever, and I was Uncle Sam. And I remember walking out on stage to the tune of this song, dressed as Uncle Sam. I don't even think I had a line or anything. I just walked out like Uncle Sam. Once again, this song hit its peak, its highest charting peak at number 16 on the Hot 100. When would you guess, Matt? When would you guess that would have happened?
September 11th.
That is correct. And you can bet your bottom dollar, no pun intended, that none of that money went towards anything except Lee Greenwood. I promise you that. Of course, the song was then once again used in Trump's 2016, 2020, and 2024 campaigns. This guy, oh God, did you listen to any of his other music?
I listened to bits and pieces. There's only so far you can go with these songs.
Dude.
But we should, if we're going to talk about any song, we should talk about the one that he did in fact win a Grammy for.
Okay.
Which is I Owe You.
What Grammy did he win for that? Because I didn't realize until you just said that was the song he won a Grammy for. Because I sent you that song this morning. I texted you and like, this is dog shit. This is the worst song.
He won it for Best Male Country Vocal Performance.
Jeez.
And I just want to toss this out there. I don't know any of these songs that he's nominated against. And I don't know half of the artists. But I can tell you that he was up against Kenny Rogers All My Life and Ray Charles Born to Love. And there's no way that those songs are worse than IOU.
This song is so bad. If you want to take a break from the podcast right now and go put this song on, see if you can make it 30 seconds into this song. The music video is just as bad. It doesn't... I just don't know like what kind of person sincerely listens to Lee Greenwood. Like what is wrong with you? Do you not realize the massive amount of artists and music there is in the world that you would spend 1 second of your life listening to the music of Lee Greenwood? What is wrong with you if you were listening to Lee Greenwood? I'm seriously like fired up about this. Who on earth is listening to this music? It is so god awful. Like, God bless the USA aside, grifter stuff aside, political stuff aside, this guy's music fucking sucks. It is so bad. He's such a bad singer. He's such a bad songwriter, which we'll get into a little later. Like the worst lyrics you've ever. I mean, dude, I'm trying to think like. I guess maybe I was being a little bit hyperbolic about this being the worst song ever because there is like a melody. It does have proper song structure, I guess, and but like, I can't think of anything off the top of my head. And we've done a few really bad songs on this podcast, but good Lord.
Hey, here's something that we can be excited about.
Okay.
So the following year after he won that Grammy, he was nominated again for Best Male Country Vocal for God Bless the USA. And this makes me feel good. He lost. And he lost to Merle Haggard.
Okay.
Who I'm not sure how much you know about Merle Haggard. But Merle Haggard was literally one of the first country artists to defend the Dixie Chicks.
Nice.
When everybody turned on them with the George Bush administration and had, while never vocally spoke about politics, definitely hinted that he didn't think very highly of overwhelmingly patriotic people. So that, at least to me, feels like a tiny little win. That the antithesis of God Bless the USA managed to beat him the next year for that category.
You brought up a good point. Look, there are good things about America. I don't mean to sound like I live in the worst country in the world. I don't think I live in the best country in the world either. But I think that there is something super suspicious about a person who is overtly patriotic. You can be a normal amount of patriotic. You can appreciate the good things about America, but also be aware of the bad things about America. The overly patriotic people that there's something suspicious about it. Matt, it's almost like the people that are overly religious. Look,
there's a certain line where you cross where it's very, very weird and uncomfortable.
What skeletons are in your closet if you are A, overly religious, or B, overly patriotic? What did you do? What are you hiding if this is what you are so... This is your entire personality.
Hi, this is Chad Nicefield.
And this is Justin Press.
We're the host of Making Waves, the Shiprock podcast, a part of the Sound Talent Media Podcast Network. We're inviting you to sail away with us on an epic journey in musical enlightenment. Every week, we bring you only the best artists in rock music and discuss everything from the cruise, to the stage, to the saga of being a professional recording artist. We'll have lots of special guests along the way, so tune in every week.
Your stateroom is available every Monday morning, so welcome aboard.
Hey, what's up? This is Blake Weiland. I'm the host of the Tone Mob Podcast. It's a show where I interview guitar people about guitar stuff. We talk about their pedals, their amps, their accessories, their preferences, all that stuff, as well as a healthy dose of whatever comes up. Topics have ranged from aliens to addiction and anywhere in between. Oh yeah, and pizza. We're definitely going to be talking about pizza. So get the show wherever you're listening to this podcast at. Just search The Tone Mob in your search bar and it will pop right up. Come join us. We're having a lot of fun. Thanks for checking it out.
This is the story of Whitney Houston,
This is the story of Kurt Cobain,
of George Michael, of Otis Redding, of Amy Winehouse, of Michael Hutchence, Bob Marley. This is the story of Prince,
It's a new podcast series.
about how they died, why they died, and why we're still talking about them so long after.
It's like nothing you've ever heard before.
It's storytelling.
But it's more than that, because rock stars,
They tell us how we feel. They change our mood,
they change the clothes we wear, the people we hang out with.
the way we remember things.
It's them who give us those ludicrous moments, the ones where you...
Jumping around, singing your heart out, feeling understood.
And it's those moments we'll help you remember, the ones you're thinking about right now.
That feeling
That feeling.
is coming soon from Crowd Network.
Just search for Death of a Rock Star on your podcast app.
And subscribe now.
Hi, friends. The world got you down. Don't be sad. Listen to $2 Late Fee with Zach and Dustin.
$2 Late Fee is the podcast that celebrates the best decade of entertainment, the 1980s. We pick a movie and soundtrack from our youth that we loved and see if it holds up today. We also interview your favorite celebrities from that era.
All in the spirit of positivity and togetherness. Check us out at $2latefee.com.
But anyway, this Lee Greenwood, a little more about his background. He's from California and grew up in Sacramento. I didn't know Sacramento had such a country music scene. The country music hotbed of Sacramento, which, all right. He started his first band, the Apollos, in 1962. They later changed their name to the Lee Greenwood Affair, which is funny enough because I believe the guy had... Let me see. 5 marriages, yes. So I would imagine there was maybe a few Lee Greenwood affairs, quite literally, out there. They played mostly pop music, and then he appeared mostly in casinos in Vegas. That was his gig. But after his band broke up in 1970, he moved back to Vegas, where he worked as a blackjack dealer during the day and a singer at night. In 1979, he was discovered in Reno, of all places, by Larry McFadden, the band leader and bassist for Mel Tillis. Then he was signed in 1981 by the Nashville division of MCA, and Larry McFadden became his manager. And then, of course, he had the hit in 1984. And, dude, the funniest, we talked about this on now I don't know if it'll come out before or after this episode airs, but we talked about how Lee Greenwood was appointed to a 6-year term on the National Council on the Arts by George W. Bush, which is so funny. Like, you couldn't find a better person to, I don't know. Anyway, that was supposed to expire in 2014. You're only supposed to serve a 6-year term. Barack Obama nominated Esperanza Spalding, who you weren't familiar with, but I am familiar with because she's an awesome bassist, awesome, jazzy sort of, I don't know, she's just super awesome musician and super creative, Grammy Award winning artist. She was supposed to take over for Lee Greenwood, but for some reason, the nomination wasn't acted upon by the Senate. So Greenwood was allowed to serve just keep serving as that role. But then in June 2021, Joe Biden nominated Camilla Forbes to succeed him. So then she took over. And then Lee Greenwood told Fox and Friends that the Biden administration sent him an email informing him that the president had already nominated his replacement. And he expressed his, I'll put this in quotes, shock at being replaced. Dude, this was supposed to be a 6-year thing. 6 years is already too long. And he was, I don't know why he thinks that he should have had this role, which I don't know what's all in this role. But then, of course, Matt, in May of 2021, we all remember when to commemorate the 2001 attack on the World Trade Center, Lee Greenwood published the God Bless the U.S.A. Bible. This edition of the Bible has a U.S. flag on its leather cover and includes the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, the Pledge of Allegiance, and of course, Matt, it included the chorus of God Bless the USA.
Well, you could not.
In in Lee Greenwood's handwriting. And of course, in 2024, just had to keep that grift going. Trump promoted the new edition of it, which of course, there was no doubt about it, Matt. This thing was printed in China. Of course it was.
Of course it did.
Why was it? Why wouldn't it be? God bless the USA, but print your Lee Greenwood version of the Bible in China. Why not? Yeah.
I want to inform our listeners specifically on what the National Council of the Arts is, which, I mean, at the end of the day, it's kind of just like a good for you, pat on the back type committee, as far as I can tell. But it says the 18 appointed by the president are selected from among private citizens of the United States who are widely recognized for their broad knowledge of, experience in, and their profound interest in the arts, and have established records of distinguished service and achieved eminence in the arts. This includes practicing musicians, civic cultural leaders, and members of the museum profession, and others who are professionally engaged within the arts. I don't think Lee Greenwood checks most, if not any, of those boxes.
Just think about all the people that could assume that role. Like, there's like probably 1 million people. There high school music teachers that are way more qualified for that role than Lee Greenwood, of all fucking people. Jesus Christ. I really dislike this guy. Is that clear? Is it clear how much I dislike this guy and his music?
You know what? I was picking up what you were putting down a little bit. Yeah.
Dude, oh my God. Just the lyrics, everything about this song is just, dude, it's so bad. It's
total pure dog shit. And like I think that's kind of what we're getting at, is that this is a song that has been pounded into people's heads. And I think it's just like, it's this easy dunk, right? It's this, you talk about how great America is, you jump in on a tragedy, it's going to do its thing. Now, a few people have covered this. It's worth noting.
Yeah.
Jump 5, the pop group Jump 5 covered it. They were just like a Disney type group. Dolly Parton has covered it. Tons of American Idol finalists have done it. Beyonce has done a version of it. Like, there are people who've done it. That still doesn't make it a good song. I can like Dolly Parton and Beyonce and still think that even their version can't save this song.
No, nothing could save this song. I don't care if Bjork was performing this song. I would still hate it.
You know what? I would actually be really interested to hear what Bjork's version of this is.
I wish I could do a Bjork impression, because that would be really good right now. I'm trying to do a little research because I've been thinking about something I said earlier in the podcast and trying to see if it's true or not. I believe they covered this on Last Week Tonight about did he ever donate to any charities or anything? And I believe that he has a way to say that he's donating, but he's not. Like, he has like a grifter's way around it to make it seem like he's helping charity, but actually he's just helping himself, which, once again, go watch the Last Week Tonight episode. That's I should have refreshed myself on what that is, but it is pretty funny. But Matt, I believe it or not, I have a little game for you today.
Okay, let's do it.
This is one of your favorite games that we play. Do you know what it is?
Oh my God, is this a real Lee Greenwood lyric or some shit Chris made up?
That's right.
Okay, let's do this.
Is this a real Lee Greenwood lyric or just some shit that I made up? You ready? The sun burned hot, but our hearts stayed strong. Built on faith, hard work, and an old folk song. Through storms and droughts, through loss and gain, we stood our ground in the fields of grain.
I'm going to go with that's a real Lee Greenwood lyric.
No, Matt, I made that up. That's way too good to be a Lee Greenwood lyric. What do you mean? How about this one? He never spoke of what he'd seen, of shattered dreams and fields of green, but in his eyes, the story stayed. The price of freedom warriors paid. He built a life on sacred ground with quiet strength that knew no bounds, a soldier's pride, a worker's grace, a life well lived with no regrets. Why a life? Well, I don't know. Maybe it sounds better sung. It doesn't rhyme at the end.
I don't know. I'm going to go with Lee Greenwood on this.
Nope, I made that one up.
Okay.
That's way too good to be a Lee Greenwood song.
It didn't even rhyme at the end.
I tricked you.
I had higher expectations for you, Chris.
All right, let's try this one. It felt like heaven on a 2-lane road. Simple dreams in hearts that glowed. Stars above in a world so wide. Hope is strong as the 4th of July. We talked till dawn neath a neon sign. Life was golden, love was kind. Back when forever felt easy and free, like America in 63.
God, you've written... I'm going to say that this is you this time.
You think it's me?
Yeah.
You got it. That's me.
Man, you're writing like verses.
Well, I'm just here to prove that I don't play country music or write country music. I guess I write music, but like Lee Greenwood sucks. He could not write lyrics this good. I know that one was pretty good.
That one was pretty good. So I'll explain what my thought process is after the first two on how I'm going to determine these, but go on.
I thought it was a pretty good line. Stars above in a world so wide, hope is strong as the 4th of July.
that almost, I was like, that seems like it could be real.
All right. How about, I would pick and we would sing to the rhythm on that front porch swing. The moonlight was the spotlight that we shared. I found new notes on this old guitar. She believed I could be a star. She told me that she wanted to be fair.
I'm going to go with Lee Greenwood.
Yeah, it is Lee Greenwood. Did you comprehend how bad those lyrics just sucked?
That's really bad. That was, I always think back to, I think it was the second time Paul was on the podcast and you guys were talking about Dead Milkmen. And you had said to Paul that one of your theories on why he likes the song so much is that it's so basic that like he would struggle to write a song that simplistic and basic at this point in his life. And he agreed with you. And that's kind of what I concluded on that one was like that those lyrics were beyond basic.
Yeah, dude, look, but the point of this game isn't how good of a writer I am. It's how bad of a writer Lee Greenwood is. Because I wrote the lyrics that I wrote in, 3 minutes for a game on a podcast about one-hit wonders. Like, and this is Lee Greenwood's career. I know I'm picking and choosing from his lyrics, but believe me, these are some of his better lyrics. I found new. These are his lyrics. I found new notes on this old guitar. She believed I could be a star. She told me that she wanted to be fair. I wrote, we talked till dawn neath a neon sign. Life was golden, love was kind. Back when forever felt easy and free, like America in 63. I think that's a way better lyric. Sorry.
That's a way better lyric.
I mean, and I don't,
you're not wrong.
Yeah. All right. You want one more? 2 more.
One more, sure. Or 2 more. Fine.
Your lips on mine, they feel so sweet. Can't help myself, I feel the heat. The way you move, it's driving me wild. Your hands exploring, you know I'm beguiled. The night is ours, no time to waste. Come a little closer, feel my taste.
I'm going to say it's you.
Yeah, it's me.
Yeah, I don't think Lee Greenwood knows the word beguiled.
Yeah, no way has Lee Greenwood ever. I mean, okay, I got one more for you. Oh, American flag, you set me on fire. I crave your touch, I feel your desire. In your stripes, I lose control. In your stars, you take my soul. Wrap me in you, I won't let go. You're my heart, you're my only glow. Oh, American flag, you're my devotion. You stir my heart, you cause emotion.
You wrote that.
Yeah.
That was your street by street washing feet lyric. That was so. That was literally a song about wanting to fuck the American flag.
Yes, it was. You want to hear the one more verse that I wrote?
Sure.
I always try to like lead these up to try to fool you by the end, but I know. My next verse for it was, oh, American flag, I crave you so. I want to marry you. Let our love grow. In your stripes, I lose control. In your stars, I give my soul. I'll hold you close, never let you go. You're my heart, you're all I know. Oh, American flag, I need you now. Let's seal our love with a sacred vow.
Look, I'm throwing this out there because we've been getting a lot of comments since the Hinder episode on how good your butt rock lyrics are. Here's a goal for us for 2025.
Okay.
I think we should go into the Bob Carlyle episode. We should go into the Hinder episode. We'll do this Lee Greenwood episode too, and any future ones. And we should just take all of your fake lyrics and try to record a style parody of those artists' songs. Yeah. And then at the end of the year, we can put out like a Bandcamp album that people can buy of the fake Chris Fafalios style parody.
I would love to try to write a Lee Greenwood style parody. You basically just need Lee Greenwood. You just need to get like royalty-free stock music using the words like patriotic and country and just write the most basic shit ever, even though I thought some of my lyrics were way better. Look, once again, not ringing my own bell here, but I challenge you, Lee Greenwood, you fucking grifter, you fucking bootlicker. I challenge you to to a song write-off. I will blow your pants off. With writing I will write such a better song about America than Lee Greenwood, who is supposed to be the guy who that's his thing. He's so bad. Lee Greenwood, you are so bad at music. You are awful. You don't have a good voice. You don't write cool melodies. Your lyrics are dog shit. Dog shit. You are a terrible person. You're a fucking grifter. And dude, your music sucks so bad. You are an embarrassment. You are terrible. You are by far the worst music I've ever heard. I'm so angry about how bad this guy is. I'm so angry that people give this guy money for making music. Like there's a lot of people out there that I'm like, oh, they're not good. How are they popular? Whatever. This guy is the pinnacle of that. This is, oh God, I can't take it.
Here's what I'm going to put in a framing, right? We've done about 250 songs on this podcast. Yes. It is easy to argue, what do you say, 175 to 200 of those bands that we covered should have the record sales that Lee Greenwood has. Like that across the board, we thought, how is this band not at least managed to get one or two more hits out there? Because like, they were good, like a Semisonic or a Harvey Danger or like any of these other one-hit wonders that we've covered that have some semblance of creativity, good songwriting, good melodies, anything. And basically all they're ever going to be known for is the one time that they were able to get a song on the radio very briefly. And this dude's like rolling in the dough from this bullshit patriotic nonsense that's not even well structured or anything.
Think about all the cool stuff you can do with music. You can speak your mind against the man. Like, you can think about Public Enemy or Rage Against the Machine or like speaking your mind and punching up. You know what I mean? Like speaking truth to power. This guy does the opposite of that. He does the complete opposite of that. He's just like a minion of fascism and authoritarianism and the oligarchy. Like just to enrich himself. This guy sucks so bad. So bad. And this song sucks.
let me end on something real quick. So I want to talk about this podcast that I listened to today, which I didn't intend for this to be the podcast I listened to the day that we were recording this. My favorite podcast of all time was a podcast called Reply All. It doesn't exist anymore, but the two hosts have went off and done their own separate shows. And my favorite of the two hosts, Alex Goldberg, does a show called Hyperfixed. The concept being you come to him with a problem and he will fix it, no matter how abstract it was. And today's episode was called Kristen Has Doubts. And it was a person who was writing in that just said, like, I'm a logical person. I would love to have a kid right now. And given everything that's happening, it seems like a very selfish, terrible thing to do because everything is getting worse and everything is going to be bad.
Yeah.
So he called up everybody that he could get in contact with who has extensive data on are things getting worse, are things getting bad, etc. The thing that they concluded was like, yes, from the stance of where we're looking, it does look like it's going to be bad. It will not be bad forever, but it will be bad for a little bit. But the thing that every single person said, whether they were pessimistic about the future or optimistic about the future, and I think that this is very important, progress will never come from people who are fatalistic. That people who have officially decided that this is that it's officially the worst and that they don't have to try anymore. Like time and time again, whether it was World War II or any other circumstance, it was the people who still had hope that there was something better in the future worth fighting for. And that is a far more patriotic perspective than any goddamn lyric in God Bless the USA is to charge into the next 4 years knowing, look, shit's gonna be bad. But at least I'm hoping I'm speaking for the two of us, but yourself and I are never going to lose faith that if we keep trying to make this world a better place, that eventually the dam will break and that we can make the place better. At least that's how I choose to live my life. I think optimism.
I think the pendulum swings back and forth, and I just worry that the pendulum has swung too far this time. And
we'll find out. But you got it. You know what though? If no one keeps fighting, it certainly will have. Yeah. And that's I think the most important thing.
I think you're right. And I also think like, hey, whatever, more than half of the people in America who voted for this clown, you're going to find out.
They're already finding. A lot of them are already finding out.
You fucked around, now find out. And
exactly.
And we gotta pay the price for your stupidity. And I just hope that we survive it. That's all.
Yep. And look, we should address this at this point too. Chris and I needed to get a lot out of our system.
Oh, dude, this is a bad week. This is a bad week.
This is not going to be. Don't expect that this is going to be the level of hyper-political rage that's going to happen for the foreseeable 4 years of One Hit Thunder.
I know this is what you tune into a podcast about one-hit wonders to hear guy. Oh, my God. Oh, sometimes.
But we couldn't do nothing, so we did something. And this seemed like the best way for us to do something.
Screaming into the void is all that I could do right now. And just taking out some aggression on Lee Greenwood. It's all I could really do this week. So
well, but you know what? Here's a little. We never give them a little taste of what's coming next week, and you don't even know this. But next week, the episode we're going to talk about was selected and voted by the people at our Patreon.
Okay,
so
I like that.
They gave us something great.
Let's give the people.
They gave us something really, really good to talk about.
Let's give the people what they want. Oh, Matt, Thunder or Blunder, Lee Greenwood.
Dude, look at the name of the episode, Chris. It's obviously a blunder.
Thunder, Blunder, or Hinder.
This is a Hinder. This is the most Hinder we've had since Hinder.
I mean, I feel like we even need a fourth cat. Do we need a Greenwood? Greenwood? Thunder, Blunder, Hinder, or Greenwood? Greenwood. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it needs its own category. But yeah, thanks for listening. Fuck you, Lee Greenwood. And we'll see you next week.
This has been One Hit Thunder. One Hit Thunder is hosted by Chris Afalios of the band Punchline and produced by Matt Kelly of Geekscape.net. Underneath me, you're hearing Just Getting Started off the Punchline album Action. Visit punchlinemusic.com for any upcoming news on the band. Our podcast is on Patreon now. Find us at patreon.com/OHT podcast for early access to episodes, bonus conversations, and a chance to vote on future songs for us to cover. Be sure to rate, review, and subscribe to us on any of your podcasting apps, and tune in next week for more One Hit Thunder.
Geekscape Network.
Hello, Tom May here, host of Future Friday. I've spent the last 15 years on the road with my band, The Menzingers, where I've met all kinds of wild and fascinating people. So I started a podcast. On Future Friday, I talk to fellow musicians about the moments that made them, their passions outside of music, and the curiosities that tie us all together. I've also talked to the likes of UFO researchers, magicians, soldiers, and documentary filmmakers, and I'm constantly searching for folks that can shape and change our view of the world. You can check out Future Friday wherever you like.
What's up, everybody? I am Finn McKenty, host of the Punk Rock NBA podcast, part of the Sound Talent Media Podcast Network. My podcast is all about doing what you love for a living, and every week I sit down and talk to people who have done exactly that. For example, musicians like Tommy from Between the Buried and Me, Matt from Periphery, Lil Lotus and Shinigami, among many others, photographers, artists, designers, YouTubers like Glenn Fricker and Sarah Dici, and I unpack exactly how they got to where they are today with the goal of helping you do the same. So if that sounds cool, you can listen and subscribe at soundtalentmedia.com, and I'll see you there.
Hey everyone, it's Chris Pandolfi inviting you to check out the new season of my podcast, Inside the Musician's Brain, with new episodes airing now.
Hearing it in that room, these guys playing this thing and trying to figure out how to play this song was mind-blowing. It's so inspiring to know there's so much more to it than you ever thought. And it just opened another door.
But when people find faith because they need to, in terms of just filling a void to feel better without actually being better, that's when it becomes a crutch, much like, drugs and alcohol do.
Man, I don't have all the time in the world here. If I want to be a professional bluegrass musician, I felt like I had to take a very strategic approach, just trying to get rid of the barriers and figure out what those barriers were.
The feelings still come and I have to reckon with that, but I think I have better ways of moving forward and not being stuck, which I think was the killer for me.
Catch all that and so much more on the new season of Inside the Musician's Brain.